Assalamu alaikum. This is teacher Fatima Salim from Ridwan Schools. Today we're going to discuss meiosis part 2. In the previous lesson, we got to know the difference between meiosis and mitosis. And today we're going to link what we learned about meiosis to Mendel's experiment, which we discussed in the beginning of the semester. So good luck. Mendel made a famous experiment that cross-pollinated two pea plants with opposite traits. That means that he cross-pollinated pure tall pea plants with pure short pea plants. And he did this with all the known traits of peas back that time. Now, in this page in your book, you see the experiment which explains the cross-pollination between pure round seed peas and pure wrinkled seeds. Now, when Mendel did this cross-pollination, in the first generation he noticed that all of the offspring were round seeds, which means that round seeds is the correct dominant trait. Good job. Because it could hide or mask the wrinkled seeds. So round seeds are dominant, wrinkled seeds are recessive. Good. Now, how will we explain this using meiosis? In meiosis, one cell will break apart into 4 cells. Each one of them is going to have half the number of chromosomes. So those alleles, remember alleles? Because it is pure dominant, so both of its alleles are capital R. So each one of those cells, that female cells that come from meiosis, actually has one capital R allele. Now in the same time in males, each one of the sex cells, each one of the male cells is going to have one small r allele. Why? Because the wrinkled seeds are recessive, so they have both recessive alleles, small r, so all of the male cells will have small r allele. Now, during fertilization, بعملية الإخصاب, one egg cell will join with one sperm cell, and they will give me the combination capital R, small r, which is dominant, round, and explains why 100% of the offspring will be capital small, will be dominant. Why? Because the females only have capital R alleles and the males only have small r alleles. So all of the offspring will be capital R, small r. Now, when we talk about the chromosomes in our cells, we know that we have 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs, as you know. Now, all of these pairs are divided into homologous chromosomes, as you can see in the picture. Now, by a quick look, you see that I put a pink circle and a blue circle on the last couple of chromosomes. Now, in our cells, we have identical chromosomes, but the 23rd pair, الزوج الثالث والعشرين, that's special. This is what we call the sex chromosomes. In all females, these chromosomes are big, they're large, both chromosomes. But in males, one chromosome is big and the other one is shorter, smaller. So scientists decided to give them names. This long chromosome is called X. So females have 2 long chromosomes, so they have 2 X chromosomes. In males, they have 1 large chromosome, X, and 1 smaller chromosome, Y. They called it Y just as a symbol, هذا رمز. So all males have XY chromosome and all females have XX chromosomes. By looking at this Y chromosome, and because it is shorter, don't forget that this means that it can hold less genes, right? This makes sense. It is shorter, so it cannot carry as many genes as the X chromosome. Now keep that in mind, it's going to be useful in a while. So all females have XX chromosomes and all males have XY chromosomes, and I'm talking about the 23rd pair of human chromosomes. Now, we're going to show you what happens when a baby is made. Look at this Punnett square on your left. During meiosis, بالانقسام المنصف, the mom makes the female cells, the eggs. Of course, because the mom has XX, so all alleles made by the mom will be XX. But the dad has XY chromosome, so it's going to have two options. في خيارين. If the dad passes the X chromosome and the mom passes the X chromosome, let's take a look at the Punnett square. The mom again is XX, the dad is XY. Using the Punnett square, on top you have XX, on the right we have XX, down here is XY and here is XY. So, as a summary, in two boxes we can see XX and in two boxes we can see XY. Now each XX means a female and each XY means a male boy, a baby boy. So the probability for having a girl is 50% and the probability of having a boy is also 50%. And this probability is in each pregnancy, في كل حمل. فنسبة تكوين baby boy بتكون 50% وتكوين baby girl بتكون 50%. So the female, the mom, only has X chromosomes. So either way, she's going to give the X chromosome. ما عندها غيره. But the male has X and Y. So it's up to that to determine the gender of the baby. Now, X and Y chromosomes are chromosomes after all. So their job is to have genes, to carry the genes and pass them on. And these genes control trait. Now, some of those traits are unfortunately diseases, or more accurately, disorders. Disorder يعني خلل وراثي. When I say sex-linked disorder, I mean a disorder, خلل, مرتبط ب chromosomat X وال Y. So, we're going to talk about alleles or genes that are carried either on the X chromosome or in the Y chromosome. And as you can see clearly now on the top picture, the Y chromosome, the short one, cannot carry as many genes and as many alleles as the X chromosome. And we're going to use that in a minute. We're going to discuss the first sex-linked disorder, which is called color blindness. I gave you this picture, these pictures actually, to know how a colorblind person is going to see the world. Now this picture shows us the normal vision of a normal human being. Of course, in color blindness we have many situations. في له كتير حالات. مش كل الناس اللي عندهم علمة الألوان بيشوفوا بنفس الطريقة. Here are 3 different cases of color blindness. Each one of them will see the colors differently. And this is what they actually see. Here's another picture which shows us the normal person's vision and the colorblind vision. Okay? Now, fortunately, the allele causing color blindness is a recessive allele, متنحي. And it is carried on the X chromosome. This means that إنه هذا الallele إذا كان موجود على الX chromosome بما إنه recessive لازم يكون موجود على الإكس كروموسوم مرتين بالفيميلز. شو يعني؟ Take a look at this Punnett square. We have a father and a mother. The father is a healthy man. He's not colorblind. So his chromosomes are X and Y. Now the mother is not colorblind. She can see normally, but she carries this recessive gene in her cells. هي حاملة لهذا المرض لكن مش مصابة. كيف يعني؟ She has one recessive allele. She doesn't have 2 recessive alleles. فبالتالي هي لا يظهر عليها المرض ويمكن ما تعرف إنها مصابة أبدا but she has this allele in her body. So how do we write this? Since this is sex linked بما إنه هذا المرض مرتبط بكروموسوم الإكس والواي فلازم أكتبه على الإكس. So I say X, C, X. Look at the mother. Look at the carrier. One of her X chromosomes is completely normal. The other one is written this way. X, C. This C is the allele responsible for carrying the colorblind disease. Now she has only one, which means she's healthy, but she may pass this allele to her children. Let's see how. If the father is healthy, XY, then one of his alleles, the X1, may be passed with the X allele from the mother. So in the first box, we have XX. This means a female, and this female is completely healthy. She's not colorblind, and she's not even carrying the gene. Now let's move on to the second box. In the second box here, we have the Y allele from the father and the healthy X allele from the mother. So as a result, we have XY. XY is a boy, and this boy has no allele for color blindness. ما في حرف السي هون مش موجود. C رمز للcolor blindness. So this male is perfectly healthy. Now in the third box, what do you see? We see the X allele from the father and the XC allele, which carries this disease. So as a result, we have XXC. Here we have a female, a baby girl who's healthy. She can see normally, but she's a carrier just like her mother. She may pass the disease, بس هي مش مصابة. In the last box, what do we have? We have the Y allele from the father and the XC allele from the mother. XCY. This means a baby boy, but this baby boy is colorblind. Why? We have this allele, the C allele on the X chromosome. هذا الأليل المسؤول عن الإصابة بالمرض. هل موجود عندي ما يقابله جين سائد يمنع هذا الإصابة بهذا المرض؟ No. recessive allele حتى يختفي محتاج لdominant allele يخفيه. لكن كون الواي كروموسوم شورت مش واسع كل الجينات فبالتالي أنا ما عندي الجين السائد الذي يحميني من هذا المرض. So I do not have the dominant allele to cover or to mask this colorblind allele. So this baby boy will be colorblind. He will be colorblind. As you can see, احتمالية إصابة الأولاد بهذا المرض أكبر من احتمالية إصابة البنات. Both females are healthy, but half of the baby boys are likely to be color blind. Okay? Let's see another example. Before the other example, we would like to set things straight. أول شيء, the color blindness genotypes. This slide is very important. A male who is not colorblind is written as XY. But a colorblind male is XCY. The C allele is carried on the X chromosome. هلا الفيميلز. A female who is not colorblind is XX. She's healthy and she does not even have the allele. She's not a carrier. هي مش حاملة للمرض إطلاقاً. A female who is a carrier of colorblindness is XCX. هاي الأنثى حكينا كمان مرة ترى بشكل عادي لكن عندها الأليل وممكن تنقله لأطفالها. The colorblind female is XCXC. يعني لازم كأنثى لازم يكون عندها 2 recessive alleles حتى تصاب بالمرض. أما الولد 1 recessive allele is enough to make him colorblind. وهذا الحكي صحيح لكل الأمراض المرتبطة بالجندر، أمراض المرتبطة بالإكس وبالواي, the sex-linked disorders. Now, let's cross a female who's not colorblind, يعني XX, with a colorblind man. Colorblind man means XCY. Now, This female, this healthy female, has both XX chromosomes. The male is XCY. So by making the Punnett square, as you can see here, we have X with XC. So the result is XCX. In this Punnett square, we can see X versus XC, which is also XCX. These two females are carriers of the disease. حاملات للمرض. Now what about the boys? Here we have X with Y, XY, a perfectly healthy boy. Here, same situation, XY. Again, ما في إشي اسمه ولد حامل لمرض عمى الألوان. يا إما مصاب يا إما healthy. Okay? The second sex-linked disorder is hemophilia. Hemophilia is a disease which makes you bleed for a long time. كيف يعني؟ This is a normal blood vessel. هذا وعاء دموي عادي لشخص صحيح. When you bleed for any reason, أي سبب من أسباب النزف, your body will make clots. دمك رح يتخثر, صح? And you will stop bleeding after a while. Now, a hemophilic person, a person who has hemophilia, will not clot his blood fast. So he's going to bleed for a long time. Of course, for serious cuts, لجروح كبيرة, this can be very serious, okay? This is a very serious disease because if you keep bleeding, it may endanger your life. Hemophilia is a disease which is also carried on the XY chromosomes. Let's see how. Since hemophilia starts with the letter H, we will use the letter H and we will put it on the X chromosome. A hemophilic man. The hemophilic man is XY, and since he's hemophilic, so he has the disease. So it is carried on the X chromosome. Remember, the Y chromosome is too short to carry it. ما بيحمل هذا الجين, ما بيحمل هذا القليل. So the father